Hey everybody, Thacia here with Legacy of Light in conjunction with One Love Wellness Center, coming to you for one of my 365 days from my heart to yours. And today I started doing this thing through a post I saw on Instagram called Self-Care Sunday. So just doing something to take care of myself. And I thought this would be a great day to also discuss your inner child and taking time to create a relationship with your inner child, because we can go through and we can do all this healing work and maybe not feel like we're moving forward because we haven't created this relationship with our inner child, which is, I believe where a lot of issues stem from, because as we're growing as children in this universe, when things happen, our ego creates another fragment of ourselves when trauma happens, so as to protect ourselves. So a lot of times, even in super traumatic or tragic situations, it will block out this whole memory of this thing because it is too much for a child to handle. Thus creating, when it starts to, as a teenager, maybe resurface, then we look for things to cover it up without even knowing. So, in steps the drugs and the alcohol and the sex and anything to, even food, anything to take our minds from that and to give ourselves pleasure and to appease that part of ourselves. So the importance of getting to know your inner child and what has it been lacking? What did it lack? What is it afraid of? And just reconnecting with that part of you. Because every year as you grow on earth becomes a different part of you that needs to be connected to you, and it needs to be respected, and those parts need to be appeased. So as in with my inner child, I have just recently started doing some work, and through One Love and the breath work, this past week I did some connecting with her and seeing what it was that she needed in order to be okay, and what did I need to get from that relationship with her. And part of it was because of this molestation that started, when I was 3 years old, and continued on till, later on. She was afraid, and she didn't feel protected, and she didn't feel like trust. And along with that is all these times she was seeking healing within, you know, the family structure. And, you know, I especially my dad, because his laugh and just being as, you know, with him is infectious. And she was seeking out healing and a way to reconnect and to feel safe and to feel loved. So I would, you know, make jokes, or maybe even to the extreme, just to try to, you know, hear my dad's laughter, because it was healing for me. And, you know, I realized that it still is. And also in that was, you know, her trying to reconnect, because it you know, it happened when I was so young that I, you know, later in my teens was angry because I thought they didn't protect me. And I didn't know this, but that was the feeling of the girl, the child, is that she wasn't protected. And she was just seeking out protection. And also that there was a point where she didn't get to be that child and to have that time, and that part of me, you know, not only to, you know, my zodiac being a Capricorn is like always working, and like sometimes forgetting to have fun and to enjoy myself, and it's okay. Like, you know, my spiritual journey is not going to end if I take Sundays off and don't meditate and just do some fun stuff and whatever, you know, whatever I want to do, and maybe whatever she wants to do, you know. Maybe she wants to go sledding. Maybe she just, you know, wants to watch movies and laugh. And maybe she wants to you know, eat some dairy-free ice cream. But whatever it is, we can open up this relationship to find out what that part of us needs. And also what we can gain from that part of us. Because I can gain, you know, we made a deal that I would come and hang out and we would do fun stuff. And that, you know, it's a two-way relationship, because it will teach me to remember to be childlike. Not to be childish, but childlike. And to remember to have fun and imagination and enjoy everything. And not be so bogged down with, oh, we have to do this, we have to do this, we have to do this. Like the things that as adults we think we have to do, and we're not allowed to have fun. We're not allowed to enjoy this life. It's like you get a certain age and it's like, well, you have to do that. It's just what we have to do. And that really isn't true, because we are the creators of our universe. And on the road to, you know, healing yourself and going within, we have to make that relationship with our inner child. You know, I believe if we want to transcend these, you know, traumatic things that happen to us throughout our childhood, throughout, you know, growing. And, you know, they say between 0 and 6 years old is where you create all your patterns, like, you know, that you get from your parents, that you get from your environment. And while my parents gave me this, you know, a wonderful upbringing, this issue, you know, was created outside of my family structure, but it still happened, and it still caused these issues to like basically plague me throughout my life, because my inner child didn't get to be that child. And I can remember even times, you know, as young as like 9 or 10, just wanting to be done and to be an adult. What 9-year-old wants to be an adult? they freaking knew what, you know, that all entails. And I didn't, but I didn't want to, and I didn't know why, but I didn't want to be in this part anymore. Because of that. And I didn't even know, because I had blocked it out of my memory. So then, you know, by this age 11, I was looking for all these other avenues to block that out, to be free from that, and just, like, you know, just to be free. And it isn't until now that I realize the importance of the self-care and of getting to know your inner child's needs and wants. And every age that you are has some need, has some desire. And to be balanced, we have to seek those things and, you know, and appease it and allow it to be what it is. And, you know, as I've said before, to live through it, not to live in the situation, but to live through it, to find out that, you know, certain parts of us just needed, you know, maybe just a little bit of time, and just maybe, you know, just listening to that part of us is all it needs to then create a new pattern. And we get to choose those patterns, and we get to choose how that turns out, and we get to choose how we want love to look. And that starts with ourself, and, you know, creating that self-care pattern and creating a new relationship with all the parts of you. And you can do that in, you know, whatever way you want to. There's no, like, hocus pocus thing you need to do. I mean, it just takes your intention. So you can go into a meditation with the intention to connect. You can look into, like, the holotropic breath work. You can literally just have the intention of talking to your inner child anytime you want. Just say, hey, my intention is to talk to my inner child. I want to know what you need. And just be open to whatever comes. And it's just opening this connection that has always been there, but maybe you couldn't hear it. Or you didn't know it. Or you didn't know that all these parts of you existed. And, you know, the parts that with these traumatic things come, you know, they fragment off. So it's just, you know, a reconnection is needed, is all. And yes, it takes some work. It's not just like, I don't know, it will take some work, but it can be fun. Because really that is what, you know, the child wants. is fun. And you know, remember being those ages, or, you know, seeing kids now, just being silly, and for the purpose of nothing, just to be silly, just to laugh, and, you know, the healing power of laughter. So I encourage you to open that connection. And if you already opened it and haven't been there in a while, reconnect. To find that balance and that inner peace within yourself, and to give yourself some self-love and self-care. Because when we do that, then everything else becomes just like our nature, because we've already helped ourselves. So we can help anybody else in any situation. So remember that you are eternally adored and loved, and like this says, smile, God loves you. Love yourself, because you are God. You are the creator. And if you're interested in getting a hold of me for any other reason, in the description of the video has other ways that you can get a hold of me. And just know that you are loved, and to take care of yourself and to love yourself first. Thank you.